Or they do, that
Yeah.
distance.
Well, there's I brought more utensil right here.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, if you have,
Yeah, put these ones in there.
you could have
Works.
this.
Right.
That's the thing. This down first. I had to do both sides. I had to do separate.
Yeah, put it all together, separate,
Yeah, there you go.
they have,
There's one and there's one.
okay.
They're both sides, but I had to run them like that, like that. I don't think there's a staple, I don't know, there might be a stapler, we'd have to look.
That's just Joe that brought the stuff up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe.
I'll get them mixed up.
Want to make a plate for Neil? Uncle? Uncle, you want me to make a plate for Neil? Neil. Oh, Neil? Oh, there's some other stuff there. This stuff right here. Well, there's tea there if you want tea. Mini ya chinga.
Huh?
Mini ya chinga.
Ah, pretty much.
Wakbe.
Why, what's pay a hobby, so give me tea.
Oh, wakbe. There we go. There we go.
That's a meal before we do anything.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Well, not way, but I already used it.
Let me get some of that cold stuff. Is it cold?
Not warm. Chill a little bit, I guess.
Pagi was it? Yeah, we'll make another plate here a bit.
They say Paki, week niet us sparen. They cook it in grease. Fried potatoes.
Fried, yeah. Salt and pepper.
Yeah, that's good.
Mitchell, how's Brandy doing?
Okay, she's getting around.
She getting back? She come back yet?
Yeah, she's been back.
Yeah, I heard there was, she was in an accident.
Yeah. Yeah, she's getting around. She's good.
I don't know if she's driving, but
Mm-hmm.
I see her a couple times. I said she was doing okay. Her dad, I was talking to him, my dad, that the doctors couldn't believe how fast she came out of it, because she
Mm-hmm.
had head injuries, I guess.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
And my wife heard.
Yeah.
Uncle, how would you say I'm going to?
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Echamot.
Chamut.
Echamot.
Ja, kijk, meer gekwaai, chamut. Did I say that correctly?
You could say, meneer bij, ik da niet toe.
Okay.
You could say that.
Huh.
Then you're talking about yourself.
Yeah.
But the way I first said it, you're talking about your group of family or
Sure.
group of people.
Yeah. Huh. Did you remember anything from one of these classes?
Oh,
You know how what helps
what's that?
is pronounce it over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah, then I ran out of his cassettes and there's an Habermas that I just not checked them today.
You put a cassette on the cord.
Yeah.
That's what helps me to listen to them.
Yeah.
I used to listen at Fort Peck
Yeah.
disc in my band, but now it don't work. Now I gotta get it fixed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm driving down the road,
Yeah.
turn it up loud,
Mm-hmm.
and you could hear, what's his name? What the heck's his name? Ryan. Kenny Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, could hear him speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he left me a message one day and I tried to save it. I think I want to say run it for a month and that was about 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
He talked all of a sudden about it. Then he started talking to me. I called him back.
And there's another disc that, Tom Shaw gave me. I don't know who the speaker is, I'm gonna have to bring that disc and let Uncle listen to it.
Yeah, they're supposed to have one over here. Did you get one of them from Ray?
The disc?
Yeah, a CD or whatever it was.
No, I don't know. No, I didn't.
I should give me one too, I think to ask her.
Yeah, you know, I've learned also, it's, you've got to be practiced kind of daily,
Yeah.
your practice, if you're gonna pick up more and more.
Mhm.
I know a lot, it's just that I'm not at that step yet where I could grasp more.
Yeah,
I gotta put more effort into it
yeah,
myself,
yeah.
you know. I know I'm busy every day, but I got that time,
That's, I know.
just flashcards or something.
Yeah.
On my tape in my van. I got that time, it's just I gotta apply myself a little
Yeah.
more.
That's what I have to do too.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my wife, I just have a tape player and I listen to it. Some of the words I'll back it up and play it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Ja, ik ook.
Yeah, my brother-in-law cooked.
Cool.
Yeah.
You didn't leave it on that, you know?
Taha. State B tournament this weekend, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Girls and boys, I think.
Yeah.
Girls class C too, I think.
Oh, Class C?
Yeah, girls.
Fork's gonna come out of it. there's a stapler here. You want some lettuce?
No, I'm okay. Yeah.
It's all potatoes.
That was all good. That's
Pretty
good.
good, yeah.
Yeah. Great. That's good. Thank you.
Uncle, you want some more potatoes? I don't know if they got foil, we could use this other foil. Use this foil. Uncle, put your plates right here. Yeah. Let me go home. Some more sweet stuff. Yeah, I want some sweet stuff here. Organize and get things started. There we go.
Joe, does Joe cook for Head Start?
Huh?
You ever heard that?
Yeah.
Oh. Good cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good cook. Puts his heart into it.
Yeah.
Today's the 8th,
Nice.
9th. You get a chance, but I've signed it.
This is best, throw it away.
Oh.
It's
Well,
best,
stay.
just throw it away.
Well, stay. There we go. Ik B. Is that how you say it? There we go.
Okay, why had you made make these?
Copies?
We'll go with this one first. It's names of places.
Huh?
Is my copy in here? Well,
Yeah, yours is.
That's
I
what
do believe I gave it to you right down here. But I had to run the front and the back. And there's the back right here. See that? There's your back.
Oh,
Because you couldn't run them like that. Yep, yep. Huh. Yep, that's fine.
Interesting.
Yep. If there was a stapler, we could staple, but I don't know if there's one here.
okay.
I don't know if there would be over there. And that, yeah. Old picture. Yeah, anytime you need some copies, anytime you need copies, let me know before.
Okay.
I'll do it at the IHS, where it has a copy where, you know, it'll run it back and forth. It'll do both sides
Oh, on
without,
both sides.
yeah, good copier. We'll have to go without it.
Yeah.
At least we got both sides.
Now, we'll start with the first word.
Oh,
Name of places.
name of places?
Many OUs. That first word is start with places. This one.
Water something. Mini OUs?
Yeah, many OUs. Hold water.
Hold?
H-O-L-D.
Hold water. I know mini is water, but that OUs.
Yeah.
Huh.
Hold water. And that's Malta.
Malta,
The
Montana?
place is Malta.
Okay, Malta.
Okay, Chashushk.
Cha wood,
No, Shushk. Box Elder.
box elder.
Dotson.
Okay.
Owukbobney. Owukbobney. That's Rashid Place. That's agency, or Fort Barlow agency.
Huh.
Idesha. Red Face. Harlem.
Harlem.
Harlem. Okay, Tiska Oda. Many white buildings. Chinook. You know, they never had a name for Zurich.
Yeah.
They always say on this side of Zurich, it's a little town. That's all they say for Zurich.
Hmm.
I never hear them have a name for it. Bahasa. Number 6, Bahasa.
Black Hill?
Black Hill. Havre. Number 7 is Winnie Spy. falling water. Great Falls.
So Hukbaya means falling.
Yeah, Ispaya means falling.
Okay.
Great Falls. Okay, Tokti. Tok means enemy. And T means home. And that's Hayes. Wase Wakba. Wase is paint. And Wakba is creek or river. Number 10, Irugawida.
Lodgepole, right?
Irugawida. Iruga means granite,
Granite?
and Wida means island. Excuse me. That's Lakeview.
Might be.
Okay, Eache Wida. Eache is mountain. And of course, there's others island. Wida's island. Okay, this next one, they say it gave it two names. Here it says Eache Yamni. It says mountain or three mountains. Or mountain three. And they also say Baha Yamni.
Tributes.
That's tributes.
Okay, yeah, okay. Wida.
Eache.
Wida, Mountain Island. Is that the Rocky Mountains?
Yeah, the little Rockies.
Little Rocky Mountains. Okay. Wida.
Yeah, Eache, it means mountain, island mountains, mountains, island of mountains.
Huh.
That's what it means, really. Okay, at number 8, I said enemy, the Tokti, enemy T. That, is haze.
Huh.
They also call that different too. They say Chachatua. Chachatua Ombi.
Ombi.
That's what they say. And it says where the Groupons are.
Ombi. 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 Where the Grovons live?
Ombi. Or else they say Toga Ombi. Enemy, where the enemies are. That's what we said because we was fighting with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're our enemy, and,
Yeah.
Groupons.
Yeah.
Groupons are crows. Because Groupons also associate themselves with crows. That's why they're this way,
Yeah, remember showing class Mountain Crow?
Yeah, they're mountain crows. Okay, we go out to the top. I said Mini Oyuza, holding water. The reason why they call that is skidoo. At one time we had the skidoo that went through here, the train. And that's where it stopped to get water, because it was run by steam engine. So they stop at Malta and fill up their tank with water for the next trip. And the next place they stop was Havre. Then they stop there and they fill up with water again. Because all of engine was run by steam.
Hmm.
That's why we say Mini Oyuza. This is Chashushka. I said it's all they do is they're just naming that tree. You know, that's all they do is they just name that tree because there was a lot of those box elder trees growing around there. Okay, number 4, it says Indesha, Red Face, and they named that town after Old Man Smith, Old Charlie Smith. That's Old Charlie Smith's Indian name, Indesha. And so they named the town after him, Assiniboines, because he was really good to the Assiniboines.
Right.
You know, he would talk Assiniboine. He learned how to talk Assiniboine. Well, Jim Fripps, that Fripps Cafe, Jim Fripp, he taught both Grobot and Assiniboine. Okay, Tiska Ode. T means home.
Yeah.
And Ska means white. And Oda means many. Many white homes. Of course, Bahasaba says Black Hill. They name it after that golf course. Where the golf course is, as a hill.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that in the distance it looked black, so that's how come they named Havre Black Hill.
Huh.
It says where the Black Hill is when they talk about Havre. They don't talk about the Black Hills of South Dakota.
Yeah.
Mini Hichbaya, Mini of course is water, and Hichbaya of course is fall. And when they saw that, they saw 3, I think they said 3 falls. Great Falls. There's 3 falls go like this, dropping down. They wanted to name it 3, but they said, no, we'll just name it B'nai Hichbaya, Great Falls. Of course, I told you, Tokti means enemy, home.
Mm-hmm.
Wasewakpa said paint and creek, that's lodgepole. And you got Yehuga.
Ihuga
Yehuga means granite island. And I don't know how in the world they know the word granite. All this asked the old timers, how did you know the word granite? They said, well, my grandson, they always said that from generation to generation it was brought down. How they know it was granite? They say it is that stone is really hard. Need not suda. Yeah, suda shake. They also call that Snoheda obi. Snake butte.
Snohena?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Some call it Snoheda Baha, meaning butte. Yehoga, of course, is Little Rockies, those are the mountains. Back in 1935, they had that forest fire there. In Iache Yavni or Baha Yavni, they call it hill. We call it a hill.
Mm-hmm.
We don't call it a mountain. Okay, underneath there, I want you to write, there's 2 words I try to remember them. One of them is Wicha, W-I-C-H-A, Wicha, Chnuda.
Chnuda?
I'll spell it X-N-U, Chnu,
Da.
D-A.
Chnuda.
Chafnud, that's a giant. See, the old timers tell about giants. A long time ago, said we had giants. Chocolate. And they say the giants were cannibalistic. They eat human flesh. So,
Where did they live?
uh,
Where did these giants live at?
where?
Yeah.
Here.
Snake Butte?
Like Snake Butte, mostly mountain areas where they hang out. Cause they had, what is it, their weapons was wood. That's what they weapon, we call it ejate, club. They had clubs, so they club you with it, hang you up in their, then later on, oh geez, mid-slate tastes good. And the other one is, what is that, I can't remember. Abachnat.
Bach.
Abba,
Bach.
Not, and accent, and not, de.
De.
D-E, de. Abachnat, and that's ribbon.
Ribbon.
Yeah.
R-O-B-B-O-N.
Because these ribbons that they had, a lot of times, like at a Sundance or anything like that, they use ribbons to hang up as a prayer cloth. Or sometimes they use ribbons to tie up their bottles. Some might use twine, but a lot of them use ribbons tied up.
Abachte.
Abachnat.
Bachna.
Abachnat.
Nade.
And that's ribbon. Yeah.
Hmm.
The other prayer cloth, wachea, prayer cloth.
Prayer cloth?
Or yeah, prayer cloth or abak, wachea,
Wagir.
wa,
Wa.
che,
Eh,
yak,
Yag.
wacheak.
Yag. Prayer cloth.
Yeah.
Spell it like that, how you think you could pronounce it.
You can't spell. I was such a back to first grade.
That's what I do, I spell them how I think they pronounced, then I could ask Uncle if I have to, That's what I'm starting getting out my tape recorder and then go over it with you again. Like I've been. How you doing, Ray? Good evening, Ray. Good evening.
That's big basketball video over here. Straight out.
Also, a bachlog is not only prayer cloth. We use it today as prayer cloth out of the modern Indians, like my dad had ever called them. They call them old Indians, call them modern Indians. I'll call you guys modern Indians. They use that as prayer cloth, but the old timers use it as flag. Because every tribe of Indians, family, clan, they had a flag. So wherever they camped, they put that flag up. Wacheak. Sometimes it have fur on it. I'd even see artists draw things with a stick with something up there. Well, that's a wacheak. And that identifies the group of people that's living there. See, at one time, they say Assiniboines were so many of us, we don't know each other, just like white people today. White people don't know each other, so you have to be introduced to one another. Well, that's the way these people were at one time. In order to know each other, they had these prayer flags they set up. So when you go into a great big gathered powwow, you know exactly who lives where. So the announcer, a long time ago, used to be Spirit Boy, he would announce out those flags, who they are. So and so, that's the Weasel family or the Horn Weasel family. He would announce out and name that flag. It's just like having that. Today we have a staff. We take it to the powwow. Well, that staff represents sort of this group of people. And same way with that, whatever you go to dance, you take your staff and then wherever you sit the staff down. But if you're gonna fight, you take that same staff that you put around, and wherever you're gonna fight, toward the ground. If you're gonna fight with somebody, you know, not your family, you know, but if the enemy comes, and you wanna have a hand-to-hand combat, you put that on the ground. So you tell your enemy, I want to fight you hand in hand. You know, no white man rifle or no bow and arrow or spears, hand to hand. That's why we have that, what they call oknut, one braid hanging down like this. All Indians had one braid hanging down. That's your dignity. And if you could fight with this enemy and get close enough to that, you could grab it and cut it off. Then you become a wounded Indian enemy, and you take that hair and then you give it to grandma or your mother. And that's when they put, I said, you have something hanging from your flag, that's where they tie it. Or sometimes they put it on a, what they say, sheep hook. It used to look like sheep hooks, they made it. They'll tie it on there. And so whenever they have round dance, they have that standing dance with it.
Spirit.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, Spirit Boy.
Yeah,
Renaki Hokshin?
yeah, Wanaka Hookshi. Spirit Boy.
Spirit Boy.
Here's what he used to go around camp meetings, all his camps, early in the morning. He'd be saying, get up, get up. He said, all the chiefs all got up. The sun came up a long time ago. Why are you still laying in bed for? Why are you still sleeping? Besides, the one you're sleeping with is not yours. All those women used to go on and just chase it with sticks. Not the Spirit Boy, camp crier. He's our last camp crier we had.
Last camp crier?
After that, they never, you know, they went to PA systems and stuff like that, so they really needed those people. Yeah, be sure you got those. Those are things that people don't know. You know, those two, abachta ribbon.
Yeah.
The chokdaga gaga behind the abachta de agahi. I said when they made beach cloth, they sew ribbons on it. That's what I said in Indian. So if you see all the dances, you see ribbons. You see these guys with ribbons hanging. Well, that's abachta. A lot of people, especially the young people, they don't understand why they're doing that. You know, oh, it's just a decoration, it's just a regaling up, you know. They don't understand in the old days that meant something.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. And now let's say that, you know, great warriors too. How you kill that man and you know, combat, hand-to-hand combat. If you kill that man, how you kill him, you put that feather they give you for your achievement. He put that feather on his head according to how he killed that man. Some have it straight up in there, because every time we see all these women with feathers back there, we sit about and said, boy, that's a brave woman, you know, because he said, I fought him straight up, standing up. Sometimes they have it sitting down late, and he got him down when he killed him. So, yeah, and all those are different things, different style of dress they have. All I see in the movies, geez, some of them have feathers, like the synagogue said, boy, that guy was a really, he should have the Congressional Medal of Honor. He killed 4 men, you know. So, you know, things like that. Here, the Indian women here are required to wear plumes, no, not an eagle feather, because an eagle feather to us was very sacred as men, and women wouldn't even touch it. You know, they wouldn't have nothing, especially your grandma, Emma.
Yeah.
She sure wouldn't.
Even the lions,
Yeah, she wouldn't touch the eagle feather because they're supposed to have so much respect for it because it represents the male subject, and they wouldn't have it. Yet the plume and how they get their plume Indians never kill an eagle unless you really have to, for some other reason, or maybe for ceremonial reasons. But in order to get that plume, they used to dig a hole where they know eagles congregate around. They dig a hole and then they put brush or something on it, and then put a dead rabbit on top of it. And so when this eagle comes down for that rabbit, they steer grab that eagle's leg. And while he's going like this, he has one feather plume underneath here, underneath his wings. They're like underneath his armpit. Like you'll see that one long plume. They take that and they pull it out, and that's what they give the women to put in the back of their. So that's how they do it. And then they let the eagle go, and the eagle can't fly. The eagle would go up like this and come down, and go up like this and come down, until that feather or that plume grows back, and then the eagle is able to fly. All he does is just runs, and then he'll fly for a little while, come down. That's what they did in the old days. Otherwise, they wouldn't kill no eagles. Today, the white man came here. It was a sport. To me, what I thought it was genocide. It was. They tried to get rid of everything that represented Indian. That's where I feel. Like the buffaloes, I see these buffalo skulls like a mountain. They stacked up buffalo skulls, and that was our resource of meal. So if they kill all those buffaloes, you know what the Indians could eat. You know, there's deers and antelope, but they had the buffaloes more important. For one reason, we represent him as our God. He's a symbol of our God, because our God helps us with everything. And out of buffaloes, we use every part of buffalo, every part. They never throw nothing away. So, I know on the back, I used to watch my dad when they have on the back, on each side of his vertebrae, there's a muscle laying all along there. He used to take that, slice it, and then grab it and just peel it off on each side. And then they put it on a board or on a wall while it's wet and then let it dry. And that was our thread. They take that city and pull like this, it comes off in strings. And that's what our thread was. So those were things that, you know, that really pertain to these words that I told you to write down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet.
So
Meaning
What about
Reusa?
like the giants, you know,
Yeah.
they were cannibalistic. So, but they have great respect for them. For one thing, they were very intelligent. They considered them one of the most intelligent beings. They respect them sort of with reverence, not as a god, but just with reverence,
Right.
because that they were intelligent. They do things that the normal man, normal Indian male couldn't do, but he'll show them how to do that so that they could be able to do it. So stuff like that. They always talk. My grandpa talks about all those. So I sit there and listen to him tell stories and fall asleep. So I never get done, you know. But he tells stories like that to me. All of them. I used to just enjoy listening to that. Today, our technology is so, you know, I mean, it's good. Everything is fine, nice, and all, you know. But it took everything away from us, especially as Indian people. I can't talk like this to my family or to my kids or to anybody. Right away, they look at the TV. Yeah, I'll get back to you. I'm just gonna watch TV. Yeah. Or else I get there with a game. Or else I get behind a computer. This really took us out as storytellers, as educators. It took us out. So people on the outside are trying to make these things so they can. The only way you're going to become a Assiniboine and talk Assiniboine if you go to a white man that has this and teaches you. Then you will be considered a very knowledgeable Assiniboine Indian because you got a certificate saying you have taken that course. You know. But with me, no. I'm not recognized as an educator. Like Victor Miller always say, they ought to give you a PhD here because everything you know, you give to those professors at Harvard. And those archaeologists that come there, the linguistics that come there. You give them everything you have. And yet they just said, well, just another Indian that help us out and thank you very much and give you $50 or $10 or something. Right? And he said they should give you a degree. So you have a degree where that degree can say, this is how much you got to pay me, because it's a white way you go by a pay scale.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm a certified teacher. This college will not hire me because I'm in the 5th level, and they have to pay me that much, you know. And so it was with this guy said over there, if I want to, because I take my certificate, goes there, this is what you got to pay me, because I'm a certified teacher to the state of Montana, and you got to pay me that scale. But I don't, you know, I don't do that. Besides, I retired, and I don't want to teach no more. But those are things that, you know, I find that I think people should know. Another thing is what I had here was these simple things that they say every day, instead of something really, you know, out of place. What do you want to learn about something you're not going to use?
Yeah.
Yeah, simple things that you're going to use now. That's what this one is for. I mean, it's just a few words. Say it like I'll tell everybody. I say, well, I'll tell them. I said, we must do cock, you know. Well, what does that mean, Mr. Rock? I said, it means I'm going to the bathroom. Well, we want you to say it instead of going like that. I'm going to the bathroom. And I said, no, we can't. We could, yes, say I'm going to the bathroom. But I said, it sounds terrible. It sounds funny. I said, in English, that's your language, and it's the proper way of saying you want to go to the bathroom or to the wherever you have a bathroom. I said, ours is just one word, we want to come. And well, it says, where's I want in we want to cook. I said, it's all together in there. And I said, we want to go to the bathroom.
We might do cut.
Yeah, we want to cook. Go to the bathroom. I made the kids at the school raise their hands up and call my name to the EIO dog. Said, we want to cook. I'll tell them, EI, go ahead. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of difficult for a lot of these linguistics when I was with them. That, say we was Selena, you know, and that was Josine and all this with the Jim Walksheeper, Jim Yearspoil, your grandma Rosie. Those of us that were educated and could kind of have a diction of, you know, translating these proper way. Like the Sundance, you know, it's not the Sundance. We're not dancing to the sun. It's just that somebody said, why are they looking up in the air dance? Oh, and you know, some Indian, probably the guy that just came out of the bar. Oh, they're just dancing, worship the sun. You know. And so this white man said, oh, you dancing to Sundance. And it stuck. So they call it Sundance. Well, it's Wotijach. It's making a holy place. Wo means holy, sacred. Tigach means making a home, or they say Tijach, but it's just making a holy place, like making a church or a cathedral or such. I think when last time we had a class here, there was a word Weoti instead of the TP alone.
Yeah.
It says Weoti, but it's the same thing. Weoti is like a Sundance, Wotijach, except they use teepees. They put 3 teepee poles, tripods together and lace teepees around it. That's a Weoti, and that's where they have their singing.
Jachwati.
Yeah, you know, Tijachwachi. They have their, but they don't dance. What they do in there, they go in and they fast, and also they take their prayer cloths that we talk about here, and then they hold that and pray. Like today, they asked me, said, how come Harrison made us go, teach us how to do this when we eat? And I said, well, that's sort of an underground thing. I said, years back, I said, even in my time, this agency here, our Indian people are considered themselves government workers. We're working for the white people. Well, they made a law that we couldn't speak our language, we couldn't say our prayers, we couldn't have our religion, and we couldn't do all of these things that was for us. And they said that they'd incarcerate us because we were breaking their law. And if you look into their law books here, it's still on the law. If they wanted, they could still use it, you know. And I said, in order for us to keep ourselves out of being incarcerated, they told all the Indians, they said, from now on, you go to a public place to eat. And we all pray for our food. We don't just eat, we pray for our food. And I said, we could do that. He said, all you do is, because there's going to be white people there, maybe some government worker Indian there is going to see you, and he's going to report you, and he said, police will come and pick you up. And he said, just take your food and raise it up, because in your heart you hear you're praying for that food. So that's how come that came. We couldn't have singings, what they call sing. Nowadays, I hear guys get together and they sing. We couldn't have any of those, as well as religious songs. Because I remember down at home, when my grandfather lived down by White Bear, they told all the Indians that were in this singing religion, Sundance religion, that they was going to have a singing down at my grandfather's place. So all the Indians went over there without telling this agency about it. Don't tell anybody else, just, you know. So they all went down there, and it was always, each one of them had to sing, they would raise up their prayer cloth, you know, and they would take their prayer cloth and take it, and they would raise it, then they'd hold it like this, and then they'd pray with it. They'd do that in there. And here, some young guy went to open the door. But just then, my grandfather, Yellow Cap, said, sure, I just really prayed with his prayer cloth. And my Aunt Marie Blackbird, her name was later on Murray Strong, Al Blackbird's first wife, she was there because that's my dad's sister. We're all sitting there. Here my grandfather's her praying. Here the young guy, he's looking at the door and he said in Indian, the place is coming. And just by that, he said that, you know, what? Just by that, somebody knocked on the door. And he thought it was a policeman. So while he was praying like this, he didn't know what to do. He just ran over at a window. He held it right out a window, and he said in Indian, it fits just perfect. And my Aunt Marie just couldn't help but laugh and laugh about it. But we were so afraid of being incarcerated because they made a law here. And when we break that law, we have to pay for it. This is the reason why they took money and made it look like cigarettes. Wrap it up and put cigarette paper on, and they give you money. Same way with eagle feathers. I see the only one person I know that did that to me, and that was Greg Ryder. Eagle feathers, they take it and they wrap it up in something like a red cloth, blue cloth, whatever, or a nice handkerchief. They'll wrap it up and they'll give it to you. Because if a white man see you get that eagle feather, that's a federal offense to them, but to us it isn't. It's a religious significance that we got that feather, you know, so. But stuff like that, they had to sort of go underground to see. They did a lot of the different things that we had to do in order to change. Finally, it got so where they didn't want to even talk Indian anymore. That's where we start losing you guys. As we were talking, they said, it's more and more like, say, like that one thing I showed you about this Indian woman talking Indian, and this man said, you know, if you want to talk Mexican, go back to Mexico. And she said, sir, I'm not talking Mexican, I'm talking Navajo. If you wanna talk, please go back to England. Don't like that.
So when they wrap an eagle feather up to give to another.
But you know, that, we quit doing things because we had people,
Mhm.
that, I mean, by our own people, own Indian people, would say things to us. So they just sort of kind of quit. And that's where we lost all our younger people, no longer teach them anything. Like my kids have said, Dad, we could talk, we could understand Indian. You know, like those first older ones, they said, we understand, which we're trying to, we're forgetting it now because we're not associated with you. But he said, we understand, but he said, we can't talk. You know, and I said, yeah, you have to be able to stay with somebody that speaks the language continually as we speak English to one another continually. You know, you can't lose that English language because it's continually used. And I said, you have to find somebody, and then you gotta use it. You know, you gotta tell me hello in an Indian, or you gotta tell me I'm going to town, or I'm going home. I said, you gotta say it in Indian to me. You can't just say, well, Dad, I'm going home. You have to say, Ade, you know, Tita will clean. You know, you gotta say that. So that's what you have to say. Dad, I'm going home. Otherwise, I said, you can't, you remember it. Because my kids, I talk Indian to them, and they'd sit there and say, oh, God, Dad, let's see. Well, I think you said, because they're forgetting. And that's one thing I really was surprised about. Keith's daughters, 2 daughters, they were born in Germany. They just went to German school, and German school was a German school. They had to learn English. That was their second language. And they were there, and they played with these German kids. And those 2 girls understand German really good. I don't know if they could say it, but these Hutterites, whenever they talk, my granddaughter said, Grandpa, that's what that man is saying. I said, you understand it? He said, yeah, it's just like German language. He said, I understand it. And I said, I asked Keith, I said, how come they learn? Did they teach you at school? He said, no, they play with the kids outside all the time, and those kids all spoke German. They didn't speak English. So he said, that's what they learn. I don't know if they do, you know, remember it now, because there's nobody talking to them. But that's, but these are things that, you know, I always wish it could be done. Wish I'm getting too old now to just hope somebody like you guys would take it up and continue doing it. But the best way you could teach somebody this language and culture is when they're little. That's what I learned. I was a kid that didn't really care, but children have a mind. They could sit there like they're not paying no attention, but their little mind picks it all up. And eventually later on, all of a sudden that seed develops, and then they want to you know, produce it more better. So they say, I want to learn more of what you mean. I know what you're talking about, but I want to learn more. So, but that's the best way. That's how I learned, because this old man, he was an old man. His name was Farcloud. He came to Dogtown or day school, you know, where Gilbert Horn lives. There used to be a church there. That's where your grandfather and all of them lived too. And this church, well, right by it was a building, and this man, his Farcloud, he was a Sioux. He was a minister and a teacher, and he taught us this. And first of all, he taught Indians how to sign their name. He said, instead of putting an X there or your thumb mark, I'll go make a sign. What's your name? So he said, my name is Sitting Rock. So he said, I'll write it down for you. Now, Konyake will walk me, you know. He said, I'll write it down in English. So, you know, that's how he teaches them how to write that down. So, and then I used to go with my grandfather, and they had these same things like this, that man did. And he wasn't teaching me, he was teaching my grandfather and grandmother. And just sitting at this church, I learned. That's where I really learned this from that man, Farcloud. And he's the same man that started Memorial Day. That's back in 18, what is it, 1889, at least in the 1900s anyway. He started the memorial decoration day down at Pony Hill. And he actually started for those warriors that's laid down there, like your grandfather, old Bacon, he was a scout, you know, and so these were the ones that he was honoring. But they just decided, the people there decided if he was gonna do it for everybody. So that's how we do what we do down at Pony Hill.
Uncle, what was the significance of, you said wrap an eagle feather? When
Wrap
Greg-
an eagle
yeah,
feather?
When Greg gave that to you, what's the significance of that?
Well, first of all, when they give you an eagle feather, some will give it for you too for prayer.
Sure.
So we believe that the eagle feather is like you would say in the Catholic Church, the Holy Ghost, and other denominations, the Holy Spirit. Well, we believe that's what it is. And that's what they say, the Wakamanahi, that's what it means, a Holy Ghost, a Holy Spirit.
Right.
And what we say in Indian. And that's what we say, I want prayer, and I will give you this for prayer because my son is drunker in hell all the time, and his wife is gonna divorce him, and they have trouble with the kids and all that. But I want that to be taken away, so I give you this feather and pray for them. So they'll give you that feather, that's one of the things. Another thing to give you a feather is for achievement.
Sure.
The college was doing that, every time you graduate, they give you a feather. Well, they give you it for achievement. But in order to get that achievement, you know, without being incarcerated or picked up, we have to wrap it up. We have to hide it.
Sure.
So they think you're just getting a cup, you know, but it actually is a feather. Because usually when they do that, the person that's doing it has somebody that talk Indian, if he doesn't speak Indian.
Sure.
So that you guys can hear what's going on with that feather. Because if you said it in English, you could go around and go see so-and-so and say, hey, you know, they got a wedding going on there. If you know, if you're going around it. Tie back here. Instead against your house. Did a quick search on it. Yeah, but that's one of the significance that they did. They gave me 2 eagle feathers since I came back here. But they didn't have to do that, you know, because I was at the house, and so this came in and just brought over. They almost took my warm water away from me. Well, that was a great fall, so man came up there and he said, we'll have to confiscate this warm water because those were eagle feathers. And so it's a good thing I went with people like George Shields and them. They told about the significance of our belief in that feather. And it said it's just not just a regalia, it has a religious significance for that feather, as well as it has like you would have, you'd get the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's what it's like. If you're a great hero, a great warrior, they give you a war bonnet. Not everybody gets a war bonnet. But now everybody gets a war bonnet. Beat the hell out of his wife and wear a war bonnet. I saved myself.
Okay. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, they almost confiscated that. They took all of my lard and tobacco, and it took all of my sage. Poured it. And I never did get them back because I had them in plastic bags. They took them all because they said it was marijuana, you know, drugs. So I never got it back. They all took it to Missoula. And they just said it was give it back to me or not. I never did get it.
Do they still do that nowadays?
Huh?
Do they still do that nowadays? Takes people's stuff from them. Like feathers and stuff.
Do they?
Yeah, the government.
I don't know what you mean.
You know, in order to take eagle feathers certain places like powwows and stuff, I know you gotta have some kind of document or something showing that you own them. You're Native American. I don't know if they still take them, the government. You know, like a long time ago, when they took certain people's stuff.
Yeah.
You know, do you know if they still do that?
I imagine if they wanted to.
If they wanted to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't have no paper with you that it's yours, or,
Yeah.
because the government can, if you send for eagles, but I'm sure you gotta have that. Yeah, cause the Fish and Game will give you,
I
but
know
you
when,
gotta have a signature from the tribal chairman, I think.
sure. I know when Rick put in for Eagle, I don't know how he did it. He had to fill out a lot of paperwork and hear the Fish and Game or whoever, you know, when them eagles get shocked or something.
Yeah,
Here they sent him one the next day. I mean, it was quick.
yeah, cause it takes 2-3 years, I heard.
Yeah, it took a little while for him to get it, but he got it though.
So what do they do with it? All the feathers and stuff?
Yeah, oh, you mean, Fish and Game?
Yeah, Fish and Game or
I think-
whoever.
Yeah, I think that if you have a paper filled out, then if you're next in line, I think they send it to you, if they confiscate it from someone.
Because, Don Lee found one down north of here.
Yeah,
It must have went on electric wire or something, electrocuted itself. And, he reported it, and that's who took it, the game people.
Yeah.
But later on, it brought it all back
yeah,
here and they gave it to him.
oh, okay. He
Because
must
he had
ask
all
for
his
it.
eagle, he's got all his eagle feathers.
Huh.
Yeah. Cause he thought, oh geez, all cool, I thought I was gonna be standing against the wall. Cause it did, you know, that, they took that eagle feather, or that eagle from him. Then in Havre, I saw a car, a pickup, and I don't know how they, where they did, but this cowboy or rancher or whatever he is that got off this pickup, on his grill, he had an eagle feather like this, eagle on there. And somebody from Rocky Boy was come by there. He stopped to look at it, so I went over to him to look at it. He said, I'm gonna ask this guy about this. So we stood up there waiting for it. But I couldn't wait very long because they had to go in and help a woman, so I had to leave. But later on, he said that man gave that eagle feather, all that eagles to him. But, you know, I don't know. It wasn't through game thing, nothing, but it's just a ranch or something. He said he found it on a road that was killed, either roadkill or something.
Yeah,
But I know it, that they sure strict about that,
Yeah.
really strict about that, the eagle feather. So.
We're gonna go on, or are you gonna call it a night?
What time is it?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? I gave you this, so next time we'll have this, and I'll explain every one of these to you
Sure.
as you write them down.
Biga,
Yeah, Bika.
Paris, Ha, Ha,
Yeah, Paris,
Paris.
potatoes.
Oh, Paris, Ha, Ha, fish. Oui, Bizana. Jushni, Asami Wakpa. Chua. I don't know how to say million. It.
Just like somebody walked by, you said, you named it exactly what you said there. It's called Wakwachukan.
Oh, Wakpa. Jukan.
You said here.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. But they, because there's white people say Milk River.
Yeah.
So they would put it on the Milk River.
Chua. Chase.
Where are you at?
To chase.
Oh yeah, Kua.
Million. Koktabika. No. It. Mouth. Tin. I don't know what tin means.
Then inside.
Oh, inside. Timai.
Timahead.
Timai. Go ahead. Achu. Pahi. Porcupine.
Porcupine.
Ear. Temni.
Sweat.
Apa.
Hit.
Chimnock. Look at. Ina. Porre. Here. Voice. I'm not sure how you say voice. Inside. Timahin. Michin.
Inside of your voice. Ho.
Hope.
Ho.
Voice. Hope. Timahin. Inside. Michin.
Michina.
Michina. Michina. Shunk. Shunkjana?
No. See. How do you say coyote now? Oh. Jukat.
Huh?
Oak Jukat.
Oak Jukon?
Oak Jukat.
Jukon.
Oak Jukat is coyote.
On gristle. I don't know what gristle means. Or
Oak Jukat.
I don't know about gristle.
Gristle.
Yeah, gristle.
Ka.
Ka.
K. K. Ka. There's a silent in, nasal sound. Ka. Nasal sound at the end. Where?
Doki.
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 Lower lip.
Iha. Him or her? I don't know.
No.
Says he-
Ihas, this one.
Oh, the up lower lip. Eh? Is that right? Him or her, I don't know what that means. Either him or her. I don't know that one, Uncle. Me? I don't know how you say that.
Mie.
Me, eh?
Yeah. The him and hers, iye.
Oh, yeah.
Iye is him and her.
Okay.
Iye. And then me is mie.
Oh,
An explanation or a lemonetress, it's female. There's a word that say, hey.
yeah. I heard that before.
Then
Here.
this.
This. Oh, this. Not right. I don't know. Something's not right.
Not right.
I don't know.
Ekdash.
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 Ekdash. Upon. Agan.
Agan.
Huh.
Agan.
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 Huh. And I don't know what the
Succulent is nabi.
Nambi?
Nabi.
Nabi. B. What does that mean, succulent? Nabi?
Succulent, nabi. And you know, when you cook meat, it's kind of greasy and juicy.
Mhm.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
On the other side, I think it's, you got day.
Amba.
Yeah.
Apa.
Strike, to strike.
Apa.
Apa.
Apa. Bisbisana.
Bisada.
Saba. Cha.
Cha.
Chande.
Chande.
Washte.
Washte.
Doki.
Doki.
Iya.
Iye.
Iye. Iye. Temni.
Temni.
Timahin. Pahin.
Pahi.
Pahin.
I hear you say pahi, just like you say potato. Pahi.
Pahi.
He.
He, yeah.
He means fur.
Fur. He, fur. Not that way. Not that way. Hold on.
Not that way. Dash.
Dash. Ek dash. Ek.
Dash.
This. I think we just said that.
Then.
Oh, okay, Nen.
Then.
Nen.
N-E-N.
Gua.
Gua, come here.
Valley.
Gach opa. Gach o pa.
Pa. Gachopa.
Yeah.
Ade.
Father.
Tatunga.
Okay. You also say pte.
Pate, yeah. Or pate. Pate. Buza.
Cat.
Buza.
Yeah. Cat. Busa. It also means dry.
Buza.
Busa. Makoche busa is the land is dry.
Taba.
Ball.
Tobacco would be, hold up one second. Chani.
Chani.
Chuika.
Chuiknaga.
Chuiknaga. Chuiknaga. Dagu.
Dog.
Dag. Due. Mie.
Mie.
Wrinkled? I don't know how to say that one. Wrinkled?
Emma, let's say this one. Wrinkled.
Beach.
Bish, bish.
Beesh.
Bish, bish.
Beesh. And it says, and you.
They say nie.
Niye. Oh,
Nie.
Niye. 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 Yeah, ni. Okay. Ia.
Yeah.
This is the way. This is the way. This is the way.
Echedu.
Echedu.
Echedu. Echedu, yeah. This is the way. Echedu, yeah.
Temni.
Tempe sweat.
Gugusha.
Pig.
This would be, his brother would be Nichin. Nichina.
You said Michin or Sugak.
His brother?
Yeah. His brother.
Oh, okay.
Sugak.
Okay, got it.
I think this last one here is to smell on the side.
No?
You should have
That's
it.
got about 609.
You just a regular.
Smell. Onna.
Yep.
Na. Here. To shoot.
That's hard to say for
You,
some of me.
you said it before a long time ago.
Uta.
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 With my duck up.
Oh yeah. Uta. Right there. Geez, these take. You gotta practice these. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. You got to practice this. Jeez.
Yeah, we have tapes on my tape stick. So that helps. Last time I ran out of tape without a new one in my car. Couldn't find it, didn't have it. Can you make these up?
Look like a foot there. Look like a man there. Look like another man right there. Look like a rabbit there.
Yeah, there's banana growth, what they call it, archaeology.
Mm-hmm. Look like a bear, a hand here, some hands here. Should we finish? Do it. Ooh. Smells scorched. I don't know that one.
Gumna.
Gumna.
Gum.
Gumna.
Gumna.
Oda. Much, mini? Knife? Mina?
Mina. Knife.
Yeah, it says it's coming. I don't know what that, I mean.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Just to you.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. Then it says using.
Yeah. Ooh.
Using. To use something?
Using.
Don't know.
Using, bitch. He doesn't know it.
Don't know.
Oh. Not oh. Not oh. Using. Oh. The other one's oh. They almost sound the same.
Yeah, almost. Almost.
Using.
Okay, this one here is some different, like a picture of somebody's face looking at both looking at each other.
Yeah, those are all this groove.
And this one here is all these different marks. It's like a deer.
Yeah, we see these different.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
This one here is embarrassing. Its eye and the nose.
No. Like marks there, like a hand or something. Well, this one here is like a bear or owl. Wow. Yeah, I seen a. Today's what?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
It's Wednesday the 9th.
Yesterday. Iktaniha?
Yeah.
Iktaniha. Hashka. Waji. Wamnach? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I seen one white owl yesterday. Yeah. It's the second time I seen him. He must live down there by Hinsdale.
The eclipse is supposed to have, they say Hawaii Sab.
How we saw.
When they have the eclipse, you know, the sun has a eclipse. It's a Hawaii Sabat. Hawaii Sabat is what they say. It's going to be eclipse. It's a Hawaii Sab. Yeah. So same way too at night. There's a heavy Sab. How heavy Hawaii Sab is whenever the moon goes dark. And I was saying how heavy Hawaii shot. Maybe the moon turns red or orange color.
Let me see if I got any more of this language stuff here. Yeah, I don't have the Fort Peck stuff. We're gonna read you some Fort Peck. No more Fort Peck stuff. This is all the college. This is all the college stuff here.
Yeah. I don't think, I probably didn't see that. I mean, I don't have that. I saw it, but I.
Yeah, it kind of really breaks it down. You know, it's kind of hard for a young person to understand this. That really didn't learn some of the language. For me, it was kind of.
Because this was made for more of the older group of people.
Sure.
But like the adolescents won't be able to really understand that, including the children, especially the younger ones, because they can't read yet,
Right.
you know, so, but it's usually, it's more of a, sort of like a college course type of,
Even the college students were kind of,
yeah.
even when I went to college over there, when I took this course, a lot of them didn't understand it. Only reason why I understand it is because I was studying it, you know, learning it from the old man. Not just from dad, everybody else, you know, doing these classes, that's the only way I understood it. But when what's his name did the tests, Tom Shaw, yeah, you know, he had his tests, and a lot of these students, and they were like struggling. You know, I just told him, hey, you gotta study. You got to study. There's no way around it. You know, it's like some of this stuff here, they couldn't comprehend the way it's structured. It says right here, Matush, Nagaha, Takan, Washtahe. They couldn't understand that because it's, you said it's what, you written from left to right? The noun first or whatever, then the verb or whatever, descriptive. They couldn't, a lot of them couldn't comprehend that.
Oh, you said be kush. You know, the way you said, you're addressing her, so you said be kush. Tagadbashta, you know.
I know that het means it's a question.
Yeah.
You know, I understood a lot of these dialogues. It's just a lot of the other college students couldn't comprehend it because they were never around it. And you know, it's a small time frame they're teaching it too. You know what I'm saying? That's 12 courses right there.
Oh, he said Mikush Nagaha, you know, now.
Yeah.
Must not, hey.
Watch the hey. Hey. Hey, yeah.
And it doesn't say Mikush here.
Matushk.
No, Mitoshk.
Toshk.
My nephew.
Okay.
Like I always call him Mitoshk.
Yeah,
He always
Matoshk.
call me Minex.
Yeah.
Because I'm a
How about, how do they say niece?
niece.
Yeah.
Oh, I just told you, Mehung.
Mihung?
Yeah.
Niece. Mihung. Mitushk.
Mitoshka's nephew.
Yeah, got it. Got it. Then it says, Mawani. I walk. Mawani.
It just doesn't say Mani or Mawani.
No, it says Mawani.
Mawani. I walk.
Yeah. But just walk alone would be what? Mani, right? Like say the word itself.
You said,
Walk.
you have that, you said Mawani.
Yeah, Mawani.
Say Miye. Miye Mawani. I walk alone.
Oh, you know. Yeah.
So,
Just a lot
who's
of
taking all this?
this.
Yeah, now,
Oh, you mean who's instructed it now?
yeah.
What's her name? She's from law school.
Anthony,
Minerva Allen.
Oh, Bunner?
Yeah.
Yeah, she comes here.
Every Friday. I had to go over there one day to sit in for her because she wasn't there one Friday. But remember I came to your house and I said, how do you pronounce this?
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't gonna go through the whole thing because I didn't have time. I just wouldn't go through what I do.
She should know this because she was one of them that put this together.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of them. I never was, even though I helped out, never was mentioned. it don't matter. Like I told Selena one time, there's a word that they said, and we couldn't explain it.
Yeah.
But with Selena and I, we said, we know what it means,
Yeah.
but we couldn't explain it in English. It was hard for us to. I mean, you could explain it, but
Well, you know how the white man always wants everything broken down. You know, they want it in the way they will understand it, not the way we understand it, the way they want to understand it. That's just how it is, living in a white world, which we live in now, you know.
just like my brother-in-law, they're Germans, you know, my first wife, because they're German family, Liebig's, my brother-in-law. He said, Harris, you're talking it pretty good. I said, yeah, I talk fluently, my language. He said, well, I was in an argument with this Sioux fella, and he borrowed a couple dollars from me. So I went over to ask him, hey, I said, what are you going to pay my $2? And he said, instead of telling me he's going to pay me back, he keep calling me dog shit. He said, what does he mean saying that? And I said, well, he wasn't saying dog shit in my language. I said, he was saying doksha. Perhaps tomorrow I'll pay you, you know, doksha. And he said, dog shit. You know, how come you keep calling me dog? But you know, they, like he just said, they have to understand the word really explained to them in order to know that it means perhaps. Doksha keiji, shijajujukta. Perhaps tomorrow I'll pay you, or tomorrow morning I'll pay you, or whatever you want to say. Yeah, there's a lot of words that kind of said, almost, I was going to say, use. But I said, oh.
Use?
It's also, we, you.
Use
So you
it?
can write that right next to it. Yeah, use, using, we, you. We, you. That's also using.
How they'd say that, I'm using.
That's what it is, oh. That word, "oh," is an old-timer word. "Wheel" is a modern word to us. That's what, you know, we change it because it was too hard to distinguish between "oh" and "oh wheel." You know, there's a difference. "Oh" and "oh." "Oh," like "oh." And they say "oh." They "oh." Yeah. And also, "oh" also means where. Where? Chuik the "oh," you know, wear a coat.
Oh.
So it's kind of, you know, this is what I said, you gotta learn a lot of diction behind it.
Yeah.
So when you talk to somebody, you have to make sure it's the right way you're saying it.
Sure.
You might be saying it wrong, and it's like that one, now let's say, the grandma told her grandson, Habashe Omeji Hai Ianku. He told his grandson, go home, get my moccasins, put it on, and jog home, jog back, is what she said. But he misunderstood it. When it said, Habashe Omiji Ha, what does Ha mean?
Yes.
Boil.
Oh, well.
Yeah, boil. Ibika,
And Bika.
you say, when you say Oha, you mean you're boiling. Oha also means putting on a moccasin. So Omiji Ha Iyaku, what is Iya?
Yuck.
My name is
Rock.
Rock.
Yeah.
So he took his grandma's moccasins and boiled it. And he went over to a rock and said, my grandma said to give you this. Take those moccasins to that rock. But you know, stuff like that, even the Indians themselves, if you don't say it right, you do.
Yeah.
what you understand, you get. Yeah. Like the old lady wants peaches, and she said, Taswahi tutuna se chawachik. I said, what did she say she wanted? He said, Grandma said she wants fuzzy apples. Because, peaches are a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
Just get it? That's what he interpreted like that to this white man. A fuzzy apple. He understood what it meant. Oh, peaches. But those are things that.
Dog in Jerry. In Jerry.
It is
What's that word? Common people?
common people.
In Jerry.
Yeah, that's what you say, like human, we trust. They say that, like you say, it's a human.
Mhm.
It's not. It's a creature, but it's human. It's more highly intelligent than the creature. So,
Well, Uncle, I gotta get going here.
oh, okay.
I gotta get going. It's already after 8. Put everything away. Phenomena.
Yeah. Mish Pinamaya.
Okej, daję odcinna piękno.
Akea Easton. When you come again, I said,
Okay, I'll stick. I don't know if there's a bag for your. Okay, is that the end of the session, Uncle?